Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're looking at the dungeon ship, also known as a prison ship, prison barge, or detention barges. These starships were used for transport and interrogation of prisoners, and were used by the Galactic Empire and the Mandalorian protectors. So, uh, looking at what we have here on um, Wikipedia, that's really what they have here. Um, Really, it was designed for some of the earlier um, novels and all that, and it was also used by West End Games, like the Penn Star Alignment, Classic Adventures Volume 4, stuff like that. Um, and it was done, like the Dark Empire. Uh, so this was, it was a ship really, truly made for doing the role playing games and also for some of the extended universe novels to add reasons for people to go somewhere and save someone. So that's our real start of this. All right, so as we look at our dungeon ship in the D6 stats, so this is from Randall Star Drives, uh, Lec- Lector class. It's Imperial alignment from the Rise of the Empire era. Sources are the Dark Empire source book, pages 95 and 96. Type Mandalorian dungeon ship, capital scale. It's roughly about 764 meters long. We have a crew of 860 and about 46 gunners. This can run with a skeleton crew of 370 with a plus 15 to all of our rolls. And unfortunately, it can carry about 400 security wardens, 8,000 prisoners in standard cells, 1,000 prisoners in special holding cells. And we have cargo for about 1,500 metric tons and enough consumables for about 2 months. And for anyone that's looking to buy this wonderfully beautiful ship, it's at 7.8 million credits. It does have a hyperdrive at times two. Does not have a listed backup hyperdrive, although I'm sure that there's got to be one here. It does have a nav computer, but it's only limited to two jumps, and it has a maneuverability of 3D. It has a space of 3, hull of 5D, so it is pretty resilient here. Has minimum shields at a 1D plus 2. Our sensors, we have a passive scan at 4 kilometers, an active scan out to 7.5 kilometers. Our search is 15 kilometers, that's pretty remarkable, and a focus of 400 meters. Our weapons to keep all unwell-to-doers away. We have 10 quad turbo laser batteries, 2 in the front, 4 in the left, and 4 in the right, for a crew of 3 each. We have fire control of 2D and damage of 4D. Now, this is at capital scale. We have 2 tractor beams, one on the front left, one on the front right. Let's see, and that's the front left, one right back. I'm sorry. All right, may be used on one or on only one fire arc per round. Has a crew of 8 to manage all the power cells and everything else. It's going to be a capital ship gunnery, so it's at capital scale, fire control of 2D, and a damage of 4D. So it's another one of these ships that most likely is going to be running around with some sort of fleet to help protect it, to make sure people aren't attacking it or whatever else. It may also be one of those ships that occasionally you might see ferrying people back and forth from one prison location to another. Um, but most likely, even if it's ferrying someone back and forth, I'm going to take a wild gander and say it will have some sort of protective fleet around it to make sure people don't break in and release personnel. Um, One of the horrors that were brought up in some of the later expanded novels um, were not only people just transported in the dungeon ships, but um, they were frozen in carbonite and then transported. So really, you have a lot of cut down on your spatial requirements because you don't have to have areas for people to walk around. You don't have to worry about food or other provisions for them, and possibility of them getting free on their own. Um, I know in one of the in the later novels they talk about because Han was frozen in carbonite, and he had mentioned that it was horrible because he still had like a sense of what was going on around him, and it was just horrible for him. So keep that in mind. How horrific do you think the Empire would go for trying to do this? I mean, let's face it, if you're just talking about cargo wise, I mean, 1,500 metric tons, maybe you could get two or three carbonite frozen people for every one person. You know, I, it's a scary thought, but it is a thing that was brought up in some of the novelizations, so I do want to throw it out there. So, shorter video, another one of those ships we don't typically get to see, which is one of the wonderful things that we get to bring to you on a day to day basis. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so very much for joining me today. We'll see you in the next video.